Hey there, Jimmy Newsom here, your impact influencer, and I'm so glad you're here and watching this video. I'm going to dive deep into what it means to be a part of the strategy alignment and execution membership, which means that I'm actually going to go into the platform so you can kind of see what the hype is about and what you're going to be getting when you become a part of this community. What I'm also going to do is I'm actually going to open up a few tools as well, in addition, to show you how deep we go when it comes to training and understanding and planning and strategizing within the community. So it's not just about theory. It's not just about, well, you can do these things, but not really ever giving you the ability to actually see the actual work being done. And this becomes a big difference between us. We are the execution of most memberships. When you're being told what to do, it's one thing, but when you can actually see it being done, and then you can also participate and do the work alongside of the trainer, which sometimes can be me. This is where you can start to really continue to move the needle in regards to your business and the growth of that business. Okay, so without further ado, let's go ahead and quickly jump in. All right, this is actually a splice in from the original video because we made some updates to our community and of course to the landing pages that drive people to the community. So I'm going to walk real quick before we go into the platform. I'm just going to give you a quick walkthrough of the landing page if you happen to be watching this video and you're not on the actual Moving Forward Small Business site. And this is the Strategy Alignment and Execution membership. And we really did a nice redesign on this platform. We're still in our lifetime membership offer, which is up to 5,000 people. What we did do is we added a new section that allows you to either purchase it for a one-time fee or 3 smaller payments over 3 months. So that's one of the big differences with the payment strategy. And again, that goes until we hit our 5,000 members. Once we do, then we're going to go back to our monthly and yearly plan. So if you are interested in this community, this is a great place for you to actually get access to it and at an unbelievable price, an unbelievable value. So we have the 90-day plan. So that stayed the same, and that's really to kind of get you up and running quickly with a more of a foundational structure that will benefit you as you're in this community. So in regards to fine-tuning your vision and your values and even your mission, you know, adding your first real business strategy to the Cascade tool. And of course, none of this would make any sense if we didn't fully define our target audience. So we recommend these 3, and then inside the community, which you'll see in a second, we list where they are so you can get started with those as one pathway. Okay. Of course, you're watching the video. If we come down, here's something that's new. As of this recording, this new part of the recording, we're at about 160 hours of training, which is about 24 frameworks worth of content. We're now working on 25 or 25th framework. Each framework is anywhere from 6 to 7 hours of training on a specific topic where we really go deep, that is now on demand. So what we wanted to do is figure out a way to make it easier for you to determine where should I be going. And so we created the strategic pathway assessment quiz. And when you take that quiz, you can end up with 13 to 14 different pathway suggestions. And then what frameworks would go best with that based on your challenge. So you're going to be able to take this challenge once you're officially a member, go through the assessment, and then let that tool tell you here's where you start if you want to take that as the pathway. We're excited about that. Then of course we have the frameworks. You can actually click through these little dots here and just get an idea of some of the frameworks that we're covering. We recategorized them. So you can now look at it, whether it's if you're looking for AI and technology, if you're looking for branding and positioning, if you're looking for product and service development and optimization. The whole framework, our monthly framework structure is live. Every month we pick a very strong topic that should be relevant for the entire community. And then we release an action plan at the beginning of the month. Then we do a call, and as of this recording, our actual call for this month's framework is actually in about 45 minutes. So I'm pushing it right now. But we do the live call, and we go through it. I present and go through the action plan, get people kind of like their marching orders before we go into our 5 days of implementation, where we work all together for 5 straight days. And if you can't make it, then you just see the recording. All right. And then, of course, at the end, we have our coaching call where we just kind of talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly in regards to this month's framework and your progress. All right. So it's really a great a group effort here, even with the training, because all the past training you're going to watch, all the frameworks have, in most cases, members on. So it's not just about training and teaching, and it's also about interaction and hearing other people's opinion and having them share things that might be relevant to you as a business owner. Okay. Some desired outcomes, who this community is for, and we've got a number of testimonials. So again, if you haven't had a chance, feel free to watch some of the testimonials, go to their case study pages. And again, like I mentioned, we have 2 payment options. We have the lifetime payment option, number 1, which is $349. As of this recording, it's going to go up a few more times before we hit our 5,000. So that's also an important thing to note. So you can either pay $349 once, or you can pay $450 over 3 months, which is $150 a month for 3 months if you do need a bit of a break, okay, on the price. And of course, we have a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you can just feel free to know that 30 days from the time that you make your initial purchase, you can request a refund with no questions asked. So what I mean, so if you do the 3-month plan, that's only valid on the first payment of $150, okay. And then we have some frequently asked questions. And so now let's go ahead and go back over to the community. And I'll kind of break down the few changes. So at the beginning, once you're signed up, you're in, you're going to go to the Get Started section, and we're going to click on the Start Here. And from there, you'll scroll down, and you're going to click on the Get Started here. We got a number of other tabs you can do, but this is where I want you to start. This will kind of get you acclimated into the community itself. There's my boy Forrest. Welcome you as well. And then we have a list of things that you can do. Set up your profile, introduce yourself, check out the community guidelines, visit notifications. We have, every now and then, we have a new member orientation. So you can sign up for one of those, which is done in a group setting, and you'll get a chance to, ask questions, but just kind of get a little bit more insight on what you're going to be a part of. All right. And then familiarize yourself with the live monthly frameworks. And again, every month is a single framework. And then once that month's done, it goes on demand, and you'll be prepared for the next month. Here's where you can click to take this the strategic pathway assessment. We do have a mobile app, which is very powerful when you're out on the road and whatnot. You can communicate, you can watch the trainings, you can be in on the calls if you, both for Apple devices and of course Android devices. Then we have a frequently asked questions section. So you saw on the landing page, we had the 90-day plan, where these 5 different programs are either standalone webinars or programs, or their frameworks. So we're going, if you, over the 90 days, if you can get through all of these trainings in your own time, then you'll have enough structure in place that a lot of other stuff will really make sense. It'll make sense if you don't do it, but it'll make more sense if you do. All right. You can reach out to me directly by sending me a direct message. And then, of course, we'd love for you to connect with us on social media. All right. So that's kind of the getting started part to kind of get you in the process. And now I'm just going to show you some of the new things we've done. So we revamped our entire monthly framework. So you're seeing a lot of spaces here. That's because I'm in my admin account. But you will only see the spaces that you're signed up for. So if we come over here to monthly frameworks, what we've done here is these 3 here are usually the current month that we're in for a framework and the upcoming months. And sometimes the topics are not fully released in those upcoming months, because we really do want to make sure that it's fully relevant. So unless it's a topic that we feel comfortable mapping out 2 months in advance, we typically won't release the framework until a few days before the month starts, or just as the month begins, because there has been many cases where we've actually changed the topic because of either current events or because we got a lot of great feedback from in the community, and we're like, you know what, we need to actually go here next because that might complement what we've just learned, or it might be we realize that there's a missing piece that would make some of the other frameworks even more valuable. All right, so so that's where you're seeing these three. This here is called the monthly framework roundtable. Every month, at the first Monday of every month, we just do a call, and that call is for anybody to join, and we just talk frameworks. So if you're in the middle of any framework, you could talk about what a success you've had, an issue you're having, get clarity around it. So you can do that in real time. So there's no agenda. It's just a conversation, and it's us either sometimes premiering what's new, but also trying to get feedback from the audience on how they're doing in the frameworks. The two new sections, the first one is called the categorized frameworks. So we used to have these categorized differently. We've since revamped that over the last couple weeks, and we categorized them based on like AI and technology, brand building and positioning, strategic planning and execution, operational efficiency and time management, leadership, team development, and authority building. Well, you get the point. There's 8 of them, okay? And under them, we've added the frameworks that align best with those categories. So if you know specifically what type of category you'd like to focus on for growth, and again, for us at Moving Forward Small Business, we're about strategy and growth. So these are the type of topics that we tend to focus on. We don't focus too much on finance. We do have a bit of finance stuff in here, but we usually have a third party come in to do that with us. Our stuff is about marketing, innovation, technology, the things that really help move the needle for the business. And then, of course, that supports the finance side of things. So you can click on any one of these and go directly to that framework. All right. Down here, if you scroll down, it's alphabetically, it's been alphabetized, but what we may do is we might restructure them by color. And the colors represent the categories. So anything in the AI section is going to be green. And anything in the brand building section is going to be this color, oranges, pinkish, whatever color that is, reddish. Okay, but we may categorize them to match these. We're just not sure yet. Okay, so that's one way that you can determine what framework should I focus on, because again, a framework's not an hour long; it's 6 to 7 hours. All right. The other way is you do the assessment and the pathways. All right. So we click on that, and what that means is you take the assessment. So you click here and it opens up the assessment, and you're going to answer 53 at the time of this recording questions. As we add more frameworks, there may be more questions if we have to create a new pathway. If not, it'll just fit under the existing pathways. So you click on this, take the quiz, you enter your information, name, email, and in most cases, the only people that are going to ever see this page at this moment are pro members. So you'll just check yes, opt in, receive emails and updates. Well, again, you're already a part of the system, but you'll check that anyway. And then you'll start answering the questions. As you answer the questions, you're going to end up with an overall score based on all questions. But then what you'll do is you'll see it says challenge 4. That's your lowest score. So we're going, this is where you should start. And what we do is we give the top 3 lowest scores and of course the first one is the one that you just saw here. The other 2 are the other 2 frameworks that you may be struggling with. So you could literally complete challenge 4 and then move on to challenge 5 and then challenge 6. And if you come back over here, once you get your quiz, there'll be a link so you can just go straight to that challenge. But let's come back over here. And here are the challenges. Challenge 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we have 14 of them. As of this recording, we're currently working on the Digital Transformation Challenge. So it is not live yet. So it says coming soon. All right. But again, so let's say you did get challenge 4 and it was competitive analysis and strategy. You click on that. And it'll give you kind of an overview of what it is. And then it'll give you the 4 questions you actually answered that ended up giving you that low score. So now you can, if you don't have to remember the questions that were asked and how this ended up being it. So, but this should kind of validate, oh yeah, I remember answering. I didn't really have a good, I didn't really have anything good to say about any of these 4 questions. And then here are the 4 frameworks, and they're hyperlinked. So you start with the first one, then you move on to the second, then you move to the third, you move to the fourth. So this can be what you're focused on. And then as you're in any of these frameworks, you can always chat with us. Okay, and that's why we love the Circle platform. So I just clicked on this one here. And now you've got the first of the frameworks you're going to take. And you'll see it. Some of them may have a date. We're going to be removing the date as long as it's still relevant. And what happens is now this is on demand. So you have the monthly training call. And that's usually where we introduce the topic, and we'll probably do, we have some type of presentation. So you should definitely watch this before you start diving into the 5 days, because this usually prepares you for the 5 days. So you do this call first. You go here. If you click on it, let's just right click and just open in a different tab. I'll show you what that looks like. You'll have your video. We give you access to the actual deck that we used. And then you'll have any resources that were mentioned. So we do a lot of templates now in Notion, and we make those templates available to you. So you can either, if you have Notion, Notion is free, again, as of this recording. So you can add the template. That way you can edit the template at your, to fit your need. We may mention tools, SEMrush, Brand24, SparkToro. We might link to blog articles, all the resources for that particular video will be here. And if you have questions, you can always come in here. You can tag me or anybody. So you might go at Jimmy, and now you can tag me and ask me a question. Hey, what did you mean about this or that and this? You don't even have to refer to the framework you're taking, because it's going to be, when I get the message, it'll be on the page, so I'll know what you're talking about. Okay. And as we add more team members, you might target somebody else to ask a question, or you can even target other members of the community that also, that you've become friendly with, that you may be doing partnership work with or whatnot. So again, it's not just about, if you missed the training, you can still communicate in real time with us. All right. So that's the new strategic pathways assessment strategy, where you can really zone in on understanding where should I start, especially when we have so much content now, which is a lot more now than we've ever had before, and that's going to continue to grow. And now one final thing to note, over here to the right, we also have standalone programs like the Traffic Max program, which is a 13-hour program which has a separate price, but it's discounted for members. We have the Business Plan Bootcamp, which is also a standalone program of 13 hours. And again, you get a discount on that. So any programs that are not a part of the community will have a paywall, and it'll be discounted for everybody inside the community. One other section to point out here is we have our program section, and this stuff you have access to. We have on-demand programming. If you click on this particular tab here, things like Small Business CEO series, the $1 Million Business Strategy series, the 10X Sales Strategy series. This is a new series I'll be producing this year, 2025, called the Small Business Digital Transformation series. And we also have a 6-hour training for SEO, local and organic, with one of our partners we worked with, Href. Which we have full access to. And then we have the Profit Maximization series, which is with a colleague of ours, Andrew Frazier of SB Pro University. He's a finance guy, outsourced CFO, and there's 13 hours of training on that as well. So there's more than enough stuff to keep you busy. And this course is integrated into one of the pathway assessment. So if you do get financing, you'll actually be asked to start with this non-framework program, because it goes deep into everything about financing and making sure that you're profitable. Then you'll go into frameworks that would then accompany or complement this. All right. So let's go ahead and jump out of this. The other thing I want to bring to your attention is I want to give you an idea of how deep we go. So I'm going to show you a number of tools just to show you, depending on the topic, there are always tools, for moving forward small business. We're about innovation, technology, and strategy, business strategy. Innovation comes from, making adjustments to your products, to your services, making them better, market research, understanding what people want versus what you have to offer, making those adjustments, and also differentiating yourself from your competitors. Okay. So here is one tool, ScaleNut, where we're able to leverage AI to write high quality blog articles. We use this in some training. We also use this specific tool in our Traffic Max program. And this here on the right allows us to see where our score is, so we can get this article, which this particular article happens to be 1,900 words, and it says the suggested length should be 2,200. So I can beef this up by adding more content. I can look at my topic gap and see what did I not cover in this particular article, which is what we call a pillar piece. And again, don't worry about that too much until you get into the community. And if this is something we covered, then we'll be able to talk to you in detail and help you do this. Make sure the interlinking strategy is on point. Make sure that we know where the research is coming from. There's so much we can do here. The next one is a tool I call my Swiss Army knife. We use another tool called SEMrush, which allows us to put in our domain or a competitor's domain, understand how much organic traffic they're getting, what their authority score is, if they're running paid ads, who's linking to them. And we can look at it from the entire world. We can look at it across the United States, maybe India, Philippines, the UK, Canada. We can also see the keyword, what is the makeup of the intent of the keywords that they're ranking for? Is it informational, navigational, commercial, transactional? How do we make decisions on that? How do we make sure that if they're covering certain topics, we're covering certain topics? We can look at their main organic competitors. We can look at their main paid competitors. We can see if they're running advertising, we can see their actual ads, and we can see what their strategies are. So this allows us to reverse engineer a lot of our competitors' things. They're paying tuition for you. All right. Another tool we got First Research. That's a tool we get access to through our local library. You might be able to get that through your local library, no matter where you are in the United States. Not sure how it works outside of the country, but it works pretty well here for us to get access to some of these tools that could cost you hundreds of thousands of dollars a month, and you can get them for free. And then we can look at things like, an industry like consulting services or video marketing or, the auto industry, and see what are the critical issues of that industry, the business challenges, the business trends, the industry opportunities, the executive insights. And we use a lot of this information to help build a SWOT analysis. SWOT analysis standing for strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. And this here falls under opportunities and threats. These are external things that can affect your business that you have no control over. So this is one tool we can use. There's another tool if we're targeting bigger businesses for either client acquisition or maybe for partnerships, whether that might be sponsorships or just straight up strategic alliances. We can see, and when we're looking for alliances, we want to look for businesses, especially bigger businesses that are spending money to acquire new customers. And if we can help them with that through our strategic alliance, then there's a great opportunity. And one of the key things here is if they're spending money. So we can see how much annual media spend a company like Capital One is spending. The 12-month spending habit. We can also come here and see some of the key people in that organization. We can see what their monthly spends are. We can also see what their media mix is, whether through broadcast, print, digital, radio, out of home, and digital. We can also look at the social media spends. And again, this is just one client. We can also look at all the brands that are under a specific brand. So you might not be able to do a deal directly with, say, Capital One, but you might look at doing a deal with their credit card, which is treated from their perspective as a separate brand under the main company brand. You can see if they're being represented by an agency, who that agency is, who that agency might also represent. This could be great for you podcasters out there. Okay. We can also see other companies. So again, this is some great data you can get on the bigger brands if you're targeting them for any reason. We can look at Cascade. Cascade is a tool that we push our members to use a lot, and it helps us measure strategy. This is how we determine if we're winning, if we're losing, and then you can see things like if your marketing, leadership, strategic growth plan is at risk, or if it's behind, or if it's on track, and you can run different reports. You can look at timelines. You can see who's responsible for what you can see when things are due. So this is a step up from just project management alone. This measures the strategy across all your projects. Okay. Another tool we use is called Delve.ai, which allows us to take historical data like our Google Analytics and our Google Search Console and leverage that to build out personas of passive browsers, bouncers, one goal converters, and what motivates them. So, these are representations of groups of people that are going to your website, that are visiting your digital assets. Okay. And you can click on the details and get a little bit more information about the type of person it is. It's a Metro Gen Zer named Heather, her profile, her responsibilities, who she reports to, the job to be done, perceived barriers, meaning things that stop her from getting things done, what her work, this one happens to be a student, her method of communication, social media and email, the type of content she likes to engage with, what can help you determine if you need to produce more of that content, the things that are interesting for this individual, the best times of interaction and the types of interaction for the first time, resonating keywords, things like that. And again, I can come back and I can also pop in a competitor and see what their top persona looks like. I can also, if you're using a tool like this, and this is an AI-based tool, this is what we call a predictive analytics tool, we can even start to see the leads. It classifies the leads of the organizations that are visiting. And this is a real account. This is the account actually for my organization, Moving Forward Small Business. So I can see we've got some pretty big businesses visiting our website, even though we're focused primarily on small business. So at the end of the day, I might look at these bigger companies as potential partners for us, especially if our audience is their audience. Okay. And you can kind of see here to the right what pages they visited. We can also determine where they are in the buyer's journey. And again, I have many tools. There's AnyWord, which is another AI generative tool. And there's Idea 8, which is a market research sentiment-based tool. And again, we do deep dives on these tools, and not only just to learn the tool, but then we have to integrate it back into our business strategy. So then we can predict growth better. We can make better decisions about where we're supposed to be going. And are we living up to our purpose, our vision, our mission? And so these are the things that we really dive deep in when you're inside of the Moving Forward Small Business Strategy Alignment and Execution membership. So I hope that this inspires you to want to take a peek into our community. And as of right now, for a limited time, we are doing a lifetime membership. So I want you to check out whatever that price is at the moment, because we're only going to do that up to 5,000 members. And then we're going to do away with the lifetime. And then we're going to go back to our monthly and our yearly plan. So if you're on the fence, you get a 30-day money back guarantee. Take the 30 days, you're going to pay that price once and never have to pay it again. If you don't like it, you just get refunded. So give it a shot, and we hope to see you inside of the community.